Hello friends, I'm Swapna Shetty. In this video, we are going to learn about streams and how to write to a file and how to read data from a file. So streams basically facilitate transporting data from one place to another. Different streams are needed to send or receive data through different sources. For example, to receive data from keyboard, we need a stream, and to send data to a file, we need another stream. So without streams, it is not possible to move data in Java. A stream carries data just as a water pipe carries water from one place to another. So streams are basically categorized into two ways, that is input streams and the output streams. So input streams are the streams which receive or read data. Output streams are the streams which send or write data. So all the streams are represented as classes in java.io package. For example, when I say system.in, it internally represents input stream object. That is, this object represents the standard input device, that is keyboard by default. If I say system.out, it represents the print stream object. This object by default represents the standard output device, that is monitor. So streams represent different input-output devices in Java. So again, streams are classified into two types, byte streams and text streams. Byte streams represent data in the form of individual bytes. So the classes whose names end with stream comes under byte streams, like FileInputStream, FileOutputStreams, BufferedInputStream, BufferedOutputStream, and so on. So byte streams are basically used to handle text, images, audio, and video files. So these are few byte stream classes like file input stream class, filter input stream, piped input stream, string buffer input stream, object input stream, and so on. Similarly, for output stream, we have different classes like file output stream, byte array output stream, object output stream, and so on. Under text streams, these streams represent data as characters and each of 2 bytes. Though all the classes whose names end with reader or writer comes under text streams like file reader, file writer, buffered reader, buffered writer. And text streams can handle only text files, that is the one which we write in Notepad and so on. So under text streams, we have input stream reader, buffered reader, string reader, and output stream reader, filter reader, string reader, and piped writer, and so on. So how do we use file output stream? That is, when I say output stream, it is used to send or pass data to a file. So for that we need some data. So let's take that data from the keyboard. So to read the data from the keyboard, we need to attach keyboard to the data input stream class as something like this: data input stream dis equals to new data input stream and system.in, which represents the keyboard. Now attach a file where the data is to be stored. So for file output stream class, we need to attach a file called myfile.txt. And after attaching a file to file output stream, then we can read the data from the keyboard and write it to the file using a method called write. And finally, when a file is open, it is always a good practice to close the file to avoid any irregular activities, like to basically, for any security reasons, we should close the files. So let's see how do we write data into a file. I create a Java project, namely IOStream samples. In which I create a class, that is, we are writing into a file. So I name the class as create file. public static void main, and within the package com.educators. So first thing is we need to attach keyboard to data input stream, which is located in java.io package. System.in represents the keyboard. Now we need to attach file to the file output stream. And the file name would be something like myfile.txt. This is a string, so it should be enclosed within double quotes. So once you attach a file, it is showing us some compile time errors. So let's see what are those. So first is unhandled exception type. Suppose if this file is not found, we need to handle that exception. So I simply throw it out of a method using throws declaration, throws file not found exception. Now next is we need to read data from the keyboard. For example, I use a method called read, that is from data input stream. dis.read method would read the data, and that data I would capture in a character variable. So using read command also shows some errors, like it can read command returns int type, but we are capturing in a char. So let me cast int to char. But still it is again showing an unhandled exception type IO exception. So simply throw it out of a method using throws declaration. Now we have read a character from the keyboard using read method. Now how to write to a file using FOS object, that is FOS.write method. Would write ch, that is character, inside a file. Finally close the file using close method. So now let's run this program. So we didn't ask the user to enter any character. So first let me ask the user. So when it asks to enter a character, let me enter one character and this say enter. And if you look at the project here and just right click and just say refresh, you can see the text file got created, which is myfile.txt. So open myfile.txt, you can see the character D inside the file. Similarly, if I ask the user to enter any strings, that is set of strings, a set of characters, so just run it. So I just enter some, this is my first line. And then say enter. And then open the file, it will ask you to F5 to refresh. So you can see only the first character got read into the file. So I have, because I'm reading only a single character using read command. So I'll ask the user to enter any string and with at as the last character. So I would read I'll write a loop to read till last character, that is at symbol. So what do I do here is I would simply say while chdis.read not equals to @symbol, write it to the file. So cannot convert from Boolean to character. Okay, so first let me write again. First is dis dot read. That I need to capture in ch. So this whole thing, and I will read till the last character, that is @. Now you can see cannot convert from int to char. So int is always read is always returning an int type. So I just convert here itself. That is perform typecasting. Now, so here I will read each character from the keyboard until @symbol and write it to the file. So run as Java application and enter any string with as the last character. So I would simply write this is my line 1 @ and check the file. Press F5. You can see this is my line 1 in the file. Okay, so when you run again the same application, it will ask you to enter. So if I say this is my line 2 and @symbol and open the file, you can see only the latest characters. The old data got deleted. So if you want to preserve the old data also, we need to pass a parameter called true while we are attaching file to FOS. Then the old data also gets stored within the file itself. So let's check. This is my line 3 @symbol. So open the file. You can see this is my line 3 and also with line 2. So this is how you can preserve the old data. Next is buffered output stream. So buffered output stream, basically we use these classes to improve the efficiency. So what is improving efficiency? Let us understand this using an example. So let us estimate how much time it takes to read 100 characters from the keyboard and write all of them into a file. So let us assume we read data from the keyboard into memory using data input stream, and it takes 1 second time to read one character into memory. So if we write into the file by file output stream by sending another 1 second time. So for reading and writing a single character, a total of time of 2 seconds are used. So to read and write 100 characters, it takes 200 seconds time. So this is wasting a lot of time. If buffered classes are used, they provide a buffer, which is nothing but a temporary block of memory, which is first filled with the characters, and then all the characters from the buffer can be at once returned into the file. So buffered classes should be used always in connection to other stream classes. For example, buffered output stream can be used along with file output stream to write data into a file. So the data input stream reads data from the keyboard by spending 1 second time for each character. This character is written into the buffer. To read 100 characters into the buffer, it will take 100 seconds time. When the buffer is full, the file output stream will write the entire buffer full of characters in a single step into the file. This is like writing a single character into the file, and hence it takes only 1 second time. So to read and write 100 characters, it takes 101 seconds time, which is very less when compared to the previous time of 200 seconds. So by using buffered classes, the speed of writing and reading is improved. So let's see how can we use this buffered output stream with file output stream. So the same program, I just use buffered output stream. Buffered output stream, BOS equals to new buffered output stream, and attach the file output stream object here. So by default, the size of the buffer would be around 512 bytes. If you can increase the size of the buffer by mentioning this size here, 1024 or something. Next, after attaching to the buffered output stream, now after reading from the keyboard, I will write to a file using buffered output stream. So now let's run this program. Run as Java application, enter any string. So I just write this is my line 4 at symbol and check the my file. You can see this is my line 4. So buffered input streams are basically used to improve the speed. Next is file input stream. We have just seen how to write to a file. Now how to read from a file is using file input stream. First we need to attach the file to the file input stream object, and then using read command read data from the file, and finally print it on the monitor using system.out.println. So let's see how do we read. So for that I write another class, say read file, within the package com.educators, and with the main. So I simply write file input stream, FIS equals to new file input stream of attach the file here, that is myfile.txt. Now this is showing some errors like file not found exception, so simply throw it out of a method. Next, using FIS.read, read it in a character variable. Read will return an integer type, so convert it into char, and it is also throwing an exception, IO exception, so simply throw it out of a method, and finally print it on the monitor. So let's run this and check. And as Java application, you can see only T got printed from the file, that is the very first character, because I'm reading a single character. Now how to read the whole file is use a loop while ch equals to, so I just use an integer because read will return an integer, while ch equals to fis.read not equals to -1, because the end of the file, when the object reaches the end of the file, the read method would return -1. So till the end of the file you have to read and then print it on the console. So while printing, let's run it. You can see -1 got printed. I wanted to print a character, so while printing, cast to character and then print. So it is printing something like this. So I just remove println, print it in a single line itself. So run as Java application, you can see the contents of the file in the console. So this is how we read from a file. That's all with the session. Thank you.